The vast richness of this week's Torah reading is so powerful and compelling that we could spend a lifetime in this Sidra or in the book of Genesis alone, never touching upon the other 4 books. It is so penetrating and so powerful and speaks volumes to the mind and to the soul. To pick just one single strand out of this week's Torah portion, we find that Abraham is bidding a final farewell to his beloved wife Sarah, and he approaches the children of Heth, Bnei Heth, and asks for a burial plot from them. And no less than 9 times at the opening volleys of this week's Sidra do we find that phrase, the children of Heth, referred to. Why is it? That it's constantly echoed time and again, 9 times using the precious space of the Torah reading, that Abraham approaches the children of Heth and asks for them property. Perhaps it has a resonance to a parsha in Noah that we saw just a few weeks ago, where Noah, you'll remember, has 3 sons. One of them's name is Ham, and Ham has a son by the name of Canaan, and Canaan has a son by the name of Heth. So in some sense, Abraham is not just purchasing a burial plot for his Sarah, but he's also approaching a long-distant relative with whom he has had little contact with, almost no contact through the generations, and very little contact in his own lifetime. And he approaches them, and Heth beautifully offers to give Abraham the property as a burial spot for Sarah for nothing. And Abraham regrets it. He says, no, I cannot take this property for nothing. And he ends up paying a very handsome sum for the plot called Machpelah. But why? Perhaps because Abraham believes that if he pays for it, and it is marked down in the annals of history, that perhaps there'll be no objection in future time that he legitimately purchased this property from the children of Heth. Oddly enough, by the way, not only did it become the burial place for all of the patriarchs and most of the matriarchs, but today it is called Hebron. Abraham not only bargains to get this land from Bnei Heth, the children of Heth, but we find another reference to this much later on, where the grandson of Abraham visits his father, who is now ailing and blind, and Esau says to his father that he's going to get food for him. And just before that, the father, who doesn't see much reality anymore, takes 2 Hittite women to be his wives. And this, for his mother, is a great cause of anxiety. Marat Ruach, says the Torah reading. She was greatly grieved over the fact that Esau took 2 Hittite wives. And why should she be so? Because Hittite is the same thing as Heth. That the Hittite civilization arose out of the children of Heth, this very same children that Abraham is speaking to at this very moment. Where does this all bring us? Maybe, perhaps, to the greatest lesson, that we always need to be concerned with the feelings of our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, our children. No matter where they lie in the spectrum of relation to us, they're always related to us. Even if we don't approve of what they're doing or approve of how they're approaching life, blood is always a very strong marker of affiliation, connection, and sometimes hatred. We need to be dreadfully aware of this. And perhaps at the same time, be aware of the fact that that which divides us ultimately makes us the most vulnerable towards pain in the future. And maybe that, of all things in the world, is the greatest reason to seek out that which is common to us instead of that which divides. Shabbat Shalom.